EU Commission urged to act over Elon Musk's interference in elections. MEPs say enforcement of Digital Services Acts has been too slow, as Musk plans live stream with German far-right politician. The EU executive has been too slow in enforcing a major law intended to ensure good behavior of social media companies, MEPs have said, amid growing concern about the aggressive forays of Elon Musk into European politics. Pressure on the European Commission to act is growing as Musk, the ex-owner and world's richest man, prepares to host a live-stream conversation on the platform on Thursday with the leader of the far-right Alternative for Deutschland, Alice Weidel. The conversation with Musk, whose website claims he has 211.4 million followers, is seen as handing a significant advantage to the AfD as Germany prepares for elections on 23 February. Damian Boselager, an MEP, co-founder of the Pan-European Volt Party and candidate for the Bundestag in the German election, has written to the Commission urging it to examine Musk's interference in European elections. The MEP wants the Commission to investigate whether X's apparent promotion of Musk's tweets is legal under the EU's Digital Services Act, which came into force in 2022. Speaking to The Guardian, Boselager said the system used to amplify Musk's tweets was probably illegal under the DSA, because he believes it fails to meet the law's transparency requirements. He became aware that the X algorithm had been reconfigured to promote Musk's tweets after a report in tech news site Platformer last February that Musk later appeared to confirm by posting a meme about forcing followers to consume his tweets. The MEP told The Guardian he had become more concerned about the issue recently after Musk waded into European politics, for example with a post last month when he said, "Only the AfD can save Germany." The MEP said, "I don't understand why people believe that free speech is not affected by the concentration of opinion-making power in the hands of the few. For me, that has rather illiberal, autocratic tendencies, rather than liberal tendencies, when one voice is so much more powerful than all the others." On Wednesday, France's Foreign Minister, Jean-Noël Barrot, added to pressure on the Commission to use EU law in a tougher way. Either the European Commission applies with the greatest firmness the laws that exist to protect our unique space, or it does not, and in that case it should think about giving the capacity to do so back to the member states of the European Union. To France, he said, the DSA, which came into force in 2022, is meant to clamp down on companies too big to care and imposes duties to remove illegal content, tackle disinformation, and protect elections. Companies found to have broken the DSA can be fined up to 6% of global turnover or banned from operating in the EU. After an initial investigation, the Commission last July accused X of violating the DSA in 3 areas, including by deceiving users by allowing anyone to buy so-called blue-tick verification, which has opened the door to scammers. The Commission, since last month under new leadership on tech policy, has yet to conclude the investigation, which was launched in December 2023. Arba Kakalari, a Swedish center-right lawmaker who was involved in drafting the DSA, told The Guardian that the Commission was very slow or too slow in investigating social media platforms, including X. Referring to X and other social media companies, she said, "There is a spread of disinformation and so much illegal content, and these platforms are not respecting the DSA and our rules. So I think the Commission could do more in the framework that we have given them as legislators." Crystal Skaldemos, a Social Democrat vice president of the European Parliament, said the Commission needed to step up enforcement of the DSA and do things faster and more proactively to ensure platforms were doing enough to protect against a systemic risk against democracy. Referring to Musk, she asked, "Is it fair that one person can adjust his algorithms in a way that makes him and his politics and opinions more prevalent than others? Is it okay? Is it risky? Is it in line with the DSA?" The former EU Commissioner Thierry Breton, who clashed with colleagues over how to handle X, has suggested that Musk's support for the AfD constitutes foreign interference, and described his forthcoming conversation with Weidel as handing a significant and valuable advantage to the AfD leader. The Commission said earlier this week that its investigation was ongoing, without indicating when it might be complete. "We are talking about a private business, and we need to make sure our position is well-founded," a spokesperson said. The Commission, the spokesperson said, would carefully analyze the Weidel-Musk conversation. Nothing in the DSA prohibits such a live stream, the spokesperson said. What we want, however, is that the owner of the platform or the provider of the platform makes sure that the platform is not misused or giving a preferential treatment to certain types of content or an increased visibility to just one type of content. X did not immediately respond to a request for comment. On Tuesday, Spain added its voice to the governments of the UK, France, and Germany, which have criticized Musk's hostile and often misleading tweets about European politics and society. In one of his latest salvos, Musk reposted an account that contained a screenshot of rape convictions in Catalonia. Salvador Illa, the regional president of Catalonia and ally of the Spanish Prime Minister, Pedro Sánchez, said, "We will not allow anyone to use the name of Catalonia to spread hate speech. Democracy belongs to the citizens. We can't let it fall into the hands of technology multimillionaires allied with the extreme right." Republican v. Republican. Can Trump play peacemaker within his own party? The president-elect's intervention in Mike Johnson's speakership win was a sign of his power over the party. But it was only the first test of many, with Mike Johnson's bid for re-election as Speaker of the House of Representatives teetering. The U.S. president-elect interrupted a golf game to talk by phone to two Republican holdouts. In short order, the art of the deal prevailed. Johnson won on the first ballot, but Friday's intervention was a sign of Trump's enduring power over the Republican Party and his ability to bring its rebels to heel. It was, however, the first test of many for an incoming president better known for stoking division than playing peacemaker. Republicans are taking full control of Washington for the first time since 2017. But the party remains an unwieldy coalition of conservatives, libertarians, moderates, populists, and exhibitionists. It is already embroiled in a war, or words over immigration, between the tech billionaire Elon Musk and the MAGA, Make America Great Again, grassroots. It's got some pretty deep fissures in it, said Elaine Kamarck, a senior fellow in governance studies at the Brookings Institution think tank in Washington. On the other hand, Trump is at this moment popular enough to probably soothe over some of those fissures, as he did in the intervention that got Speaker Johnson over the top. He came in at the last minute and saved the day, and so I expect that initially he's going to be quite powerful in directing the party. Trump will arguably never be stronger than he is now, having defied all doubters to win last November's presidential election. Once he takes office and faces the travails of governing, his political capital is likely to be a diminishing asset, especially because he is constitutionally barred from seeking re-election. Kamarck added, the problem will be not in the next year or 2 years. It'll be as he becomes a lame duck, and there is no natural successor to him. That will be pretty interesting because then the party will be in segments. One segment is the mega people, but there's still this quasi-libertarian group that Elon Musk speaks for. There's still some traditional big business Republicans. Some commentators suggest that the defining struggle of 2025 will not be Republican versus Democrat, but rather Republican versus Republican. The post-election honeymoon ended last month when far-right activists criticized Trump's selection of Sriram Krishnan, an Indian-American venture capitalist, to be an advisor on artificial intelligence, saying he would have influence on the Trump administration's immigration policies. Musk, the South African-born chief executive of Tesla and SpaceX, vowed to go to war to defend the H-1B visa program for foreign tech workers. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face, he wrote on X to fellow Trump supporters, denouncing them as contemptible fools who must be removed from the Republican Party, root and stem. Entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, who with Musk co-chairs the Department of Government Efficiency, also weighed in, triggering a furious backlash from Trump's nativist base. Steve Bannon, a longtime Trump advisor, condemned big tech oligarchs for supporting the H-1B visa program and cast immigration as a threat to Western civilization. This week, Bannon described Musk and other Silicon Valley backers as recent converts to Trump's cause, warning, "Don't come up and go to the pulpit in your first week here and start lecturing people about the way things are going to be. If you're going to do that, we're going to rip your face off." The disunity posed a political headache for Trump, who moved to limit the visas used during his first presidency and has promised to deport all immigrants who are in the U.S. illegally. He decided to come down on the side of Musk, who spent more than $250 million helping him get elected, saying he fully backed the H-1B visa program for foreign tech workers. Trump critics suspect this is a mere preview of the conflicts to come as the Trump coalition's inherent contradictions rise to the surface. Steve Schmidt, a political strategist and former campaign operative for George W. Bush and John McCain, said, Steve Bannon's position, and he is the ideologist of all of this, is irreconcilable with Elon Musk, who's the ultimate globalist. This is the world's first trillionaire. There has been a collection of interests that have come together, or shared a desire to burn things or take power over things, who now are squared off with irreconcilable positions. There is a fundamental weakness inherent regarding Donald Trump's political position. At his inauguration on January 20th, Schmidt predicted, Trump will promise to make America great again. He's going to be able to fix by proclamation every problem of every group except for your problem, which he won't have the power to fix, and in that will be the beginning of the end and the toppling over and the great disappointment. Meanwhile, Trump's dominance of government is more fragile than it may have first appeared in November. First, his scandal-plagued pick for Attorney General Matt Gaetz did not even make it to Senate confirmation hearings. Then House Republicans rejected Trump and Musk's call to raise or abolish the national debt ceiling. Friday's brief revolt was a hint of trouble to come in 2025, given the party's wafer-thin majority. Far-right Republicans are angry at Johnson for working with Democrats to pass government spending and foreign aid bills without insisting on harsh spending cuts. For Democrats, it may be tempting to step back and admire the chaos. John Zogby, an author and pollster, noted that past presidents such as Lyndon Johnson, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama faced divided parties, but still managed to pass legislation. Trump, however, often found his policy agenda stalled by Republican infighting during his first term. The thing is, Trump too is as mysterious as Trump 1, Zogby said. We know what the agenda is this time, but the potential for so many conflicts is enormous. He thrives on it. Number 1 on the agenda is Donald Trump. The more these guys fight, the more he becomes, in his mind, the Ronald Reagan above the fray.